Hi everyone, it's Sue Plumb here to share another scrapbook process video with you. Today's layout that I am sharing was created for the Cocoa Vanilla Studio design team, and I was tasked with creating something Easter themed for this one. So I dug deep in my stash and I had some remaining from the Make-A-Wish collection. Now this collection was actually birthday themed and it was released way back in 2016. And I had some scraps and I had some embellishments, and to me it's just got the perfect colour palette for an Easter layout. There's pinks and aquas and yellows, and it makes me think of Easter every time. So despite the fact that this was a birthday collection, I was going to plough ahead and create an Easter layout with it. Now, because of the photo that I was scrapping of my kids that also featured pink, yellow and blue, also something from long ago. It was taken 10 years ago, that photo. I wanted to start with a yellow background. So I actually borrowed this sheet of 12 by 12 paper with that beautiful yellow gingham print on it from the These Days collection. So, ploughing ahead. Now, you'll see the photo there that both of my boys were wearing their little blue onesies. So I knew I wanted to pull some blue in on the background of this page. So I decided to use some acrylic paint and my brayer, which if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that is one of my favorite techniques just for adding a bit of a splash of color to a background. It's easy, it's quick, and as you can see, so long as you apply it thinly, it dries pretty much instantly. So there's no waiting around for anything to dry, no pulling out a heat gun, nothing like that. So my plan with this layout is I really wanted to create like a large Easter egg on the page. And as you can see, I'm actually tracing around a template that I created prior to starting, and it's just a large egg which I had cracked in half. So it was a large cracked egg, and I wanted to position this egg on my page so that the photo was like coming out of it. So the egg had basically cracked open and the photo had been inside. So I chose my most Easter egg looking type paper that I had there, which was that beautiful polka dot print, and traced it around, and you can see I've got my two halves there. So I'm kind of messing around now to see how I'm going to position these pieces on the page. And I couldn't just have the photo and the egg sort of floating off on the page on its own. It needed an anchor point. So given that I was going with this sort of cutesy thing with the Easter egg, I decided to create a bit of a strip of grass, which you can see I just hand drew onto some pattern paper and fussy cut it out using scissors. Nothing fancy, no cut files, no nothing like that, just merely scribbled it out with a pencil and cut around it and stuck it down onto the page. So the strip of grass basically gave me the anchor point then, so that I could have my Easter egg sort of sitting in the grass, and it gave me a point to have everything flow from, if that makes sense. Now, if you think I've skipped ahead in this video, then you'd be right, because I actually failed to press record when I paused to do my fussy cutting, and I've skipped a little bit of the process. Nothing drastic. I can fill you in what I did quite easily. You can see that I've added a couple of layers of patterned paper in behind my photo. I also added in a little paper doily and some frayed gauze, and I've added the frame around the photo, which is just from the chipboard sticker sheet that I had left in this collection. I actually had that square ombre pink frame there, which usually I don't like using frames in this way. I don't generally use frames to frame my photo with. I generally use them in other ways on the page. I cut them up to add layers and dimension. But I just thought, you know, I was going against what I would usually do in creating such a cutesy layout. So I may as well frame my photo as well. So you can see that I have positioned the two egg halves there. I've added a little bit of foam tape underneath them because with the chipboard frame around the photo that was lifting it up from the page and giving it dimension, and because my egg edges was sitting over the edge of that chipboard frame, I had to support the top parts of the egg and help it sit up from the page. So hence my reason for the foam adhesive. Now, what else am I doing on that page? I've got some die cuts from the die cut pack. I pulled out some florals just so I could create some floral clusters around it. You'll see I've positioned the florals to create that strong visual triangle around my photo and to help draw the viewer's eye into the photo. I'm also using some leafy pieces from the same die cut ephemera pack just to thicken up that grass at the bottom there and also help it, look a bit more interesting instead of just one flat layer of grass. I've also tucked in that super cute little chipboard bunny there. Now, this bunny didn't come from the Make-A-Wish collection, and it didn't come from the These Days collection. It actually came from the Joyful Christmas collection. And you can see I've stuck a little heart on the bunny's head, and that was simply to cover up the sprig of mistletoe that the bunny had on its head. So there you go. I've taken a birthday theme collection and thrown in a little bit of Christmas and created an Easter page, because why wouldn't you, right? So I'm just fiddling around here, just seeing what other die cuts I can get onto the page. You can see that I've added on a butterfly there, and now I'm going to finish off with the sticker sheet. I'm adding some phrases on there because I like to balance my visual elements off with a bit of text so that people, when they look at the page, have got things to read, and it helps people get their eye moving around the page. Now, one thing I did love about these little phrase stickers on this Make-A-Wish sticker sheet is the phrase stickers are actually in different coloured text, which you'll be able to see in the close-up photos at the end. But, yeah, the typewritten text is in sort of orange and blue and pink, and it's really, really sweet. So I actually also wanted to use up a couple of other bits from the chipboard sticker sheet, and I wanted to use up some of those puffy stickers because they were super cute, but they were very birthday themed. And they were also a little bit blocky. So you can see that there's square stickers there. I'm not great at using up square stickers on a big 12 by 12 layout. I do prefer to use those square stickers more in traveler's notebooks and that sort of thing. I find them easier to use in those smaller pages. I don't know about you. How do you use square stickers? Tell me how you use up your square stickers, because I struggle with square stickers. Fiddling around, adding on a few more little phrases. It was not that technical, this page. You could try this with basically any collection. You don't necessarily need to have the Make-A-Wish collection to remake this page. You could use any collection and I think make a really cute version of this. If you do ever scrap lift any of my layouts, make sure you tag me on your social media when you post them, because I love seeing them. It makes my day. There is really no higher compliment to me than somebody being inspired by my work and creating their own version to share. So yes, make sure you tag me. Okay, fiddling around with a couple of other small little die cut flowers just to finish it off, because flowers just look great on an Easter page as well. There wasn't really much to say about this one. I did look at it at the end here though and think, that's a little bit clean for a Sue layout. So I did decide to add some splatters. So I think at the end I use my Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I think it's the teal colour. I think it's called teal. And I did add some splatters around the page. So there you go. A super, super easy page in terms of you don't need a fancy cutting machine to cut out the egg. You don't need a fancy cutting machine to cut out the grass or anything like that. It was very, very easy to put together. So, this was a little bit more fiddling than I would have liked. I found these little die cut stars and I pulled them in thinking I would add stars on there. But the stars just, to me, cluttered it up. So I quickly got rid of those. Okay, so the only thing remaining here, as I said, was the splatters. I'm just clearing all of my stuff out of my way and trying to find my Colour Shine in my Rascog that sits next to me at my desk. There I go. If you ever have any questions about anything I've done, particularly when I've skipped a little bit of the process as I did in this video, my apologies for that. Make sure you post your questions down below, because I am more than happy to answer them and give you a hand with anything that you need to know. I'm pretty approachable. If I don't get back to you straight away, please forgive me, because I am working full-time now, and I try to get back to you as quickly as I can. while I've all got you here, happy Easter to everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who tunes into my channel. Your time is much appreciated. And that was pretty much it. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I will see you next time. Until then, happy scrapping.